friendly feelers over the land above, across the gap, reaching towards this very place.
I'd seen him do it a times, but I humored him. After all.
All right. So this is just the beginning of Beneath the Steel Sky, but it's a little introduction as I get the rest of this live stream ready.
That was when Joey piped up.
Sensors detect incoming audio source.
The evil is nearly here.
It sounded more like a copter than a demon. But the next thing, all hell let loose anyway.
Run, Foster, run! Hide from the evil!
Foster! Help! Better make my next body move faster, Foster.
He was only a robot. Oh, I love the little guy. Then, as suddenly as it started, the shooting stopped. There was a moment's silence as the copter cut its rotors. Then,
whoever is in charge here, come forward. Now!
Only a fool would have argued with that firepower.
I am the leader of these people. We are peaceful.
Bring him here.
At once, Commander Reich.
We're looking for someone. Someone who doesn't belong here. Who wasn't born in this garbage dump. Who came from the city as a child. We want to take him home again.
My mind racing. I remembered where I'd seen that symbol.
This is Beneath the Steel Sky. It's going to be one of the topics in today's live stream.
The day my mother died.
So it's going to be just take a look at this role-playing game. It's more an adventure game, but it involves interacting and enacting change in the world around you. So
the old man had gently explained that there was no way back into the city, and I already knew there was nothing he could do for Mother. His tribe was poor, but they treated
Hi, Braymore. We're almost started.
I learned how to survive in the wasteland they called the Gap, and scavenging from the city dumps. As the years passed, I forgot my life in the city, discovered new talents.
Ha! I'm your friend. Call me Joey.
And got a second name.
This is what we'll call you. Now that you've come of age, son, we found you, fostered you, so that makes you Robert Foster.
Wasted enough time. Give us the runaway, or we'll shoot everyone. Starting with you, Granddad.
The old man had been right for once. It was me they wanted.
No, my son. Don't let the evil take you. Run!
DNA scan confirms it's him, sir.
Evil had come to the Gap, just as he said.
Take him.
But had the old man seen why it wanted me, or what it would do next? It was too late to ask him now.
Leaving destruction zone, Commander Reich.
Good. Detonate.
Much too late.
Why, you murdering? Keep him.
Union City. I've been away so long. Now I was back. The city looked different. Beautiful. Peaceful. Happy.
I was hoping to meet you, Mr. Grundy.
My dear husband is back.
Is everyone feeling aspirational today?
But I was on the trail of a child, brutally abducted from his village.
Beware!
yeah, so Beneath the Steel Sky and the sequel, Beyond the Steel Sky, are both, a type of post-apocalyptic game. It's set after some kind of major destruction. In Shadowrun, yeah, it is. It is. It's a very dark, futuristic, but most of the world you're living in Beneath the Steel Sky or Beyond the Steel Sky is a wasteland with tribals, but it's after you, it's when you find these cities that are mostly concealed from everyone else, that these cities that are hidden and isolated from the rest of the world are actually super advanced. It's a little interesting. Old DOS game, a real classic. Yeah, and Shadowrun is interesting. Shadowrun was first pen and paper. Which Shadowrun did you ever play? Did you play Shadowrun Returns, Braymore, or was it, Shadowrun for Sega Genesis or SNES? Those are the ones I'm familiar with, and I took a look at them. SNES. Well, Shadowrun Returns, the Emerald City, the first scenario for Shadowrun Returns, Emerald City Ripper. Well, that's the serial killer's Emerald City Ripper, but you can get Shadowrun Returns on Steam, and the first scenario they have, because they have many like scenarios which play out like entire games for Shadowrun. The first one was a sequel to the SNES one, so it's that interesting. I've got a lot of news and gaming news today because I was off last week, and thanks for. If you wanted to, if you stopped by the one on Classic Doom, that's great. But last week was all right. And near the last minute, I became one of the extra parental supervisors for my son in elementary school. Was going on a trip to Elmwood Zoo. So if you ever visit Pennsylvania near Philadelphia, there's Elmwood. The admission for Elmwood Zoo is a little more expensive than Philadelphia, but Elmwood is a little less crowded than Philadelphia is, and it's in a place where the traffic is less bad than Philadelphia. I mean, Philadelphia is a mess. I'm sure everyone would say that about their city, and I'll say it about mine. I'm no exception. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these games, and I've talked about it in previous podcasts, is I cannot stand the experiences I had doing actual tabletop play, except for Warhammer, because Warhammer is mostly just doing dice rolls for characters on a tabletop for Warhammer 40K. But with Dungeons and Dragons or Shadowrun, my experiences are terrible for those. Like, it's hard because it's a game with Shadowrun or Dungeons and Dragons. It's potentially a complex story, but you need a person who is able to, as the leader or DM in charge of the game, Dungeon Master as it's called, you need to have someone who knows how to arrange and organize the game very well as a story. And with the PC games I've played, such as Baldur's Gate or Shadowrun the video game and Shadowrun Returns, I just had a better time with that because in making that game, they had to organize everything into it, like the story, the characters, the NPCs, the world you're playing in, all of it. They organized it into making an actual PC game or a console game. So it was more or less a way of me, as I played these games in PC form, it just was a better experience because the people who made the game and programming it, developing it, and publishing it put a better effort in than a nighttime gameplay. But I mean, there's probably exceptionally good people who know how to craft stories and craft a game with rules based on Dungeons and Dragons or Shadowrun. I just wasn't fortunate enough to beat them. Now, there are some games like Hero Quest and stuff where you have a board game and it's relatively easy to set up the story compared to Dungeons and Dragons because you have a board representing the dungeon and you just need to set up the various tiles where they are. You can custom make it aside from the game set up in Hero Quest. It's pretty easy. I mean, it's Games Workshop's way of making a dungeon crawling RPG. And that much is a little enjoyable. So, all right, it is reaching that time. I am going to be hitting the introduction. All right, hello everyone. Adrian Tepes here, and as my channel is now known as Alucard's YouTube channel. So today we are talking about another Whatever Happened to the Game episode of the podcast. Guests are welcome. We're talking about whatever happened to the role-playing games in the Golden Age, and we're talking about the end of the world and beyond. So we're talking about post-apocalyptic types of role-playing games, of which you have Fallout, you also have Beneath a Steel Sky, and how this age, which I call the golden age of role-playing games, where you had characters with an incredible amount of agency, where their choices affected the character's reputation and condition in the world, as well as the condition of the world around them. So previously, we started off talking about space, because with Star Control 2, you had a big case of a world that was dynamic, which your character is in, and your character's actions in that world affected how the world worked. So back in Star Control 2, you had that world where you made deals and made contact with various alien species and recruited them to fight other alien species, similar to Star Trek. That was Star Control 2 and Escape Velocity. Then the second one was talking about the Dungeons and Dragons based games, with the exception of how the Elder Scrolls games got started. But before we get too far into today's one about the post-apocalyptic role-playing games from the Golden Age, we're going to go into the news. So we have a lot of catching up to do in the news. First, we're going to talk about how the campaign story mode of Battlefield 6 has less than 10 missions. This is the most recent game by EA. It's the shortest campaign for a Battlefield game so far. It's also the newest one. Brazil has passed a law banning loot boxes in video games that sell in Brazil. So I wonder how that goes. I'm guessing they would more likely be targeting, say, sports games. I just wonder how the gaming community in Brazil is going to feel about that part. Sports games, especially soccer video games, are extremely popular the world over, which is going to lead into another topic which I'm going to catch up on page 2 of the news. Okay, so after that, the Xbox Ally and ROG. So Xbox is partnering with someone to do an outsourcing for the ROG company to do what is essentially the Xbox portable console. It's around $1,000, $1,000. I know it says $999, but with sales tax and other issues, it will be selling to you over $1,000. Okay, there's no way around that. But basically, this is Xbox telling Nintendo, "Hold my beer," because if you thought the Nintendo Switch 2 was expensive for $450, now you have Xbox saying, "Hey, we'll do more than double the price of the Nintendo Switch 2, and you're going to like it because it's Xbox." Well, it depends. I'm just one person. Hi, Abel. Welcome to the live stream. It's okay. I'm still stuck in the news because from last week and this week, there's been so many things that dropped in video game news. So I'm catching up on it right now.
I gotcha. Hey, Brian, how you doing?
Yeah. So yeah, $1,000 for Xbox Portable. I mean, this is the price stated, but with the way sales tax and other things works for shipping and handling, if you're ordering online, it's going to be over $1,000 for the Xbox Portable.
Excuse the hell out of you? What? What is this?
Yeah.
$1,000
for the portable Xbox. They literally told Nintendo to hold their beer, Albelio. I'm not kidding.
Oh goodness. That's horrible.
Well, it's more than just an Xbox. It's actually technically a Windows PC. But I already have a Windows PC. So why should I get a portable one when my PC as I own it, already plays the games? I mean, you can play Xbox, and most Xbox and PlayStation games will go to PC on Steam. So, why? Yes, and that's the next page. Braymore, $30 for an Xbox subscription. So Game Pass, they doubled it. They pretty much doubled the cost of your monthly subscription for Game Pass on Xbox, where they live stream the games to you from the server.
That's horrible.
Yeah, I mean, all of YouTube is on fire about the Game Pass price hike monthly. I mean, the one thing they're going to do though is that if in the current month, this will be the last month where you pay the lower price per month.
Yeah, well, as people walk away from the luxuries of life, they're the costs are going to increase so that they can maintain what they currently have. The company that cuts their prices first and gets rid of the unnecessary fat, that's the company that's not only going to lead the way in the right direction, that's also the company that's going to survive.
Yeah. So Alex, like my big regret is I actually put a Nintendo Game Boy Advance SP together. I got a 501 Game Boy Color cartridge for the Game Boy Advance, and my children enjoy it quite well. Playing Pokemon or Mario or Paper Mario on it, so it's all right. A lot of these older games are actually cheap now because of GOG.com, which all these games, which we're going to mention today, are on GOG.com and Steam. Well, yeah, and on top of that, Brim, I already own a Windows PC. What would I not? Why should I get a second Windows PC when I already have one? I mean, some people don't mind that, but for me, it's redundant. And it probably has the same stick drift. And not only that, but for the gaming controller I used I used a PlayStation controller for some of my gameplay that I've been showing live, but the PlayStation one, it had the stick drift problem you were saying after about 3 months. I'm not sure how quick the Switch one is, but so far it's okay. So far. They don't take it to school. They aren't allowed to take the Game Boy to school. We have Nintendo Wii at home, but it's at the house. If people want to tease me, be my guest. We're not bankrupt and we're not deep in debt, so everyone to teach their own. Electronic Arts has been agreed to a leveraged buyout by Silver Lake, Saudi Arabia, and Affinity Partners, Jared Kushner in Israel, making the game publisher cease to be publicly traded. So, goodbye to EA on the stock market.
This is probably the biggest gaming news I've heard in a long time. The idea that, because EA has been all about, all of this, the woke money and everything else going on, and now they're being controlled by the Jews and the Muslims.
Well,
and none of them are going to do any of this crap anymore. They're going to privatize the company. Dude, it's a massive shift away from what we've been seeing with a lot of games. Like, the entire company is going to be completely cleaned out.
Oh, I mean, the layoffs are going to happen either way because the debt, it's an extra $20 billion in debt. And it'll take them even if they get revenue the way EA gets now, it'll take about a decade to pay that off. Okay.
Sure. But that's assuming that the games that they make don't, aren't good.
Well, I mean, with soccer video games are extremely popular. I mean, I don't buy them yearly, but every year soccer games are a guaranteed sell right now.
Mm-hmm.
And what's happening right now is the Prince of Saudi Arabia has said, okay, the Saudi Arabian soccer team is going into the next FIFA. Okay, Microsoft also got a lot of people angry. If anyone's been on X or even YouTube, you'd see all these people saying, I don't want to be subscribed to Game Pass anymore. Now, it's funny because as you were talking about to me earlier, Albella, you were asking me, we were talking, I thought, and I'm wrong here, I thought that they would really be jacking up the prices on video streaming first, like Amazon Prime or Netflix. But I guess it looks like Microsoft is doing it for streamed cloud games. And either way, from an accounting perspective, it doesn't make financial sense to stay cheap on any of that.
Yeah, this has been such a hard right turn out of nowhere that I don't know what's going to happen at this point.
I mean, it's going back to the EA part. It's going to take the new owners years to get out of the debt they got, the $20 billion in debt they got from owning the game. I'm not kidding. But I can only see that the game development budgets are going to need to go down. Like these games, they're putting them out there now for like as high as over 200 million for a lot of AAA games. Now, if you go back to 20 years ago, it was tens of millions were the expensive games.
Yeah,
I mean, Max Payne and Max Payne 2 were literally developed on about $10 million for each game. And the developers literally asked their family members to voice and be the visual reference for the characters in the game. Like Sam Lake literally asked his mother and his father to be to voice and visually have photos of his parents to be the big bads and the villains in that game. That's how cheap he went. And that on top of Sam Lake using photographs of himself to be Max Payne in the first game anyways.
This is going to be very interesting next couple of years.
It will be. I mean, people keep saying too big to fail, but failure has multiple layers. No, go ahead.
I was just thinking like the because I related to the topic, my buddies and I had a discussion the other day, and we were talking about how everything has gotten like so bad in this country, not because the United States has remained a constitutional republic with a capitalist economy, but because that basis has shifted so far over to a socialist, communist sort of thing going on. You have the horrible corruption of the privatization of everything because all of the money is in government, and the political nonsense has embedded itself in the economy so hard that like this is why all of these Netflix shows, the movies, everything else all push this woke agenda crap. That's why like the Netflix getting canceled right now is such a huge thing, because they have so many overt, politics shoved down people's throats. Whereas if it was done the other way around, where people were becoming Christian, the left would be they'd be firebombing everything.
Right. And part of it too is that they just give you a very weak story, and they coat it with icing, and the politics are at best the thin icing on the cake. But if your story on the inside is bad, the cake's bad. If you understand that analogy.
Yeah. It's the reason the conversation came up is because so many people are just so depressed about things. And I don't blame them, because it does feel like nothing's really going to get better. But I keep telling people, I keep arguing, like, it's not progress if we go off in a trajectory making what perceives to be progress and then do that horseshoe turn back down into a regressive state, because that's what's going on, right?
Right.
And so what we need to do is we need to go backwards. We need to not regress, but reset what has been done in order to make things better. So it's not like uh
Oh, I understand what you're
the-
saying. It's similar to it's similar to how you have to clean clutter out of your house.
exactly. It's like you don't just keep throwing things into the house and being like, my house is totally fine. No, if you have to have a designated footpath to travel, like, that's not good, because that's not freedom. Clean things
No.
up, clean it out. In this case, the companies should go back to being private. They shouldn't, like, the fact that there are so many shareholders that have to be answered to, the fact that the common practice is, oh no, we're getting canceled online because we had a woman who's a well endowed individual that's based on a real woman, in this case Stellar Blade. Now we have to cancel that game. But the only reason Stellar Blade got away with it is because it's a foreign company, and they
Right,
like
Korean.
some bosom women. That's a good thing. Like, women shouldn't be degraded because a bunch of ugly dykes out here were like, she's too pretty. That's an unrealistic standard.
Or
She's
wine
literally
mothers.
real.
Wine mothers are part of that too, almost
Yeah,
equally
yeah,
so.
that too. But it's like, Eve, I think her name is, like,
Yeah.
she's literally real. It's not impossible to maintain that body standard. It's that these people choose not to. So for that kind of influence to have such a tight grip around the nuts of this entire industry is wild to me. Because look, Injustice failed not only because not Injustice, Suicide Squad bombed spectacularly.
Right.
Because of two things.
And
First
we're
off,
talking about the Suicide Squad game killed the Justice League.
yeah, but also the movies suck. But
Yeah.
the game sucks because it's poorly written. There's very little to do. It's incredibly linear. The game promised open
I heard a
world.
lot of
this
it was
and that.
wasted on cutscenes. Like a lot of the time he spent playing that game was just watching the cutscenes of the characters doing something.
Yeah, like the story doesn't make any sense. The gameplay was mediocre at best. Like, that's why, like, it's not just the politics end, it's everything a part of it. No one likes these elements of this game. And then you have Avowed, and then there was Concord. There's been so many of these games that have all come out recently because they were in development for years, because that's what the political end pushed for. And now that they're failing in waves, you're going to see a little bit of a continuation of games like this for only a couple more years, because these are the ones currently in development. And the projects that are being started now are the ones that are going to be hopefully designed to rewrite the direction of this ship.
Yeah, and not only that, it's Microsoft right now is downsizing the number of games that are scheduled to new games that are scheduled to come for Xbox. And what could happen is Microsoft could become like Sega, where they don't really make consoles anymore. They just make games that get released on PC because it's cheaper to just do that. The only company that net profits right now for every console sold is Nintendo. They're the only ones. For Sony or for Microsoft, there's a net loss for every single Xbox or PlayStation console they sell individually. So they lean on getting an overall profit from the games. But at this point, with Microsoft scaling down the number of games they're releasing, it could be a problem or a burden for them to actually keep selling consoles.
And that's only because a lot of the costs and everything are being chipped away in order to boost their own numbers because the Japanese pinch pennies like heavily, you know, like they're kind of infamous for doing so. I mean, Toho, for example, with Godzilla, it's like their budgets are dirt.
like 10 to 15 million, right? And that was crazy. They made a dumb dinosaur soldiers primitive war, and that was 7 million, like less than half of Godzilla. And it's like, how did they do that?
Mm-hmm.
What Primitive War was Western made, right? Like,
yeah, that was. It's based off of an American book series. There's like 3 or 4 books, and they only had a budget of like, I think it was like 10 million when I looked, because it was something that I noticed in the movie. I was like, man, this looks really cheap. Why does this, like, some of the effects still look kind of good in certain light? I went to look at the budget. It's actually less than it's less than the reported budget, I should say, for Godzilla -1, because -1 is supposed to have like 15 mil, but they say that they wish they had that. So it's like, I haven't seen an official number for it. People say it's closer to 10. So Primitive War was basically on par with it based off of what I've heard from everybody.
Yeah. So yeah, I heard a thing, Alex, about Dragon Prince. It might be something interesting. My current streaming service I'm subscribed to right now is Amazon, but later I might switch to Netflix if I have a catalog of things I might try. So yeah, Braymore, there's a lot of things in anime and Korean and Japanese and Chinese media to an extent about like warrior women in manga. A lot of those mangas are actually meant for a male audience, actually, like Battle Angel Alita or Ghost of the Shell. Those are actually intended for men to read as an audience. But yeah, and the other thing about a lot of these warrior women mangas is that these fighter women get beat up a lot. And I just don't see a lot of Western filmmakers wanting to show that. I mean, they did release something based off Battle Angel Alita, but in the manga, I mean, the only reason why she's alive is because she has a mechanical body. Otherwise, she would have been dead in like the first volume. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
But in these manga or anime where the woman is a fighter, the woman gets beat up, and I'm not sure how much Western filmmakers would want to actually accurately adapt that. I'm not kidding.
The on that note, as a side note, I rewatched season 1 and 2 of Castlevania because I'm gonna redo season 1 for tomorrow, because I'm going back through Castlevania throughout the month of October here. I actually really did not realize how bad the writing is in this series. Like, the whole series just got worse for me. And in season 2, it actually kind of irked the crap out of me that Godbrand is the one that gets threatened and put in his place by Dracula, because Godbrand's like, we need to, like, we need a little bit more order to the war, and Dracula he's ready to rip him in half. Right. But Carmilla comes in and challenges Dracula about not having turned Lisa into a vampire in the first place, and like emasculates him in front of his entire war council. But she makes a joke about not sleeping with Godbrand, and he chuckles and laughs it off. Oh my dude, I like rolled my eyes to the back of my head. I couldn't believe it last night. I was like, no, why? So yeah, like the whole idea of women getting their asses beat in Western society in any manner in its current form is just, it's not really allowed.
Right.
Which is shocking. Which is actually shocking, because I watched Red Sonja because I'm looking to review that too. Dude, she gets pummeled. Like, it's such a weird dichotomy, or a duality that we exist in today, because like, she actually gets impaled. Like, she dies. Like, if it wasn't for her getting magically healed at one point in the movie, it's over. Sonja dies.
Right. I'm just
Granted,
saying,
it's at the
right,
woman.
like
It's at
when
another
people
woman hand.
read manga like Battle Angel Alita or the actual manga for Black Lagoon, like Revi or Alita, they get beat up a lot. And apparently, and these things are directed in Japan or Korea to a male audience, and apparently the men over there are fine with the woman who takes a beating. Don't ask me, but I'm kind of in that way too.
Well, characters need to struggle. They need to. That's one of the reasons why everything kind of sucks is that like the female characters getting away scot free. It's not as believable. That was one of the complaints about what was it, season 3 of
Yeah,
Stranger Things, where
I
the
mean,
girl and the guy are caught by the Russians, and the
yeah,
guy is the one that gets beaten, but she's totally fine.
yeah. And Alex, that also was the beginning premise of Kill Bill, because Beatrix or the bride gets she's pretty much borderline dead. Like she only survives because of the hospital, but otherwise they killed everyone at that wedding.
Yeah, the red wedding before the red wedding.
Yeah. And the other thing is, it's funny because I actually watched the animated Battle Angel movie, but the actual 2019 Alita Battle Angel had Alita getting more beat up than the animated film did.
Yeah, it turns out I actually did watch the original or the anime movie because I thought I remembered like a character gets turned into a robot and climbs up these pipes,
Right.
these cables.
Hugo.
And I was like, man, why is this so familiar? This is like triggering my memory. What's going on? And then you get to that last scene where she's trying to save him, and I was like, oh, I've seen this anime before, but it's been like a decade.
Yeah. Actually, it's funny is that the original manga author didn't like the anime movie at all. And I'm not even surprised.
Oh, really?
Because given what the kind of the kind of beatdowns he gives Alita, where she gets her legs blown off, has someone just pull her arms off with brute force. This happens repeatedly in the manga.
Yeah, I don't remember anything about the anime. I just remember that climactic scene where he's trying to climb towards the city, and then the thing comes down and shreds him.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't want to get lost on this too far.
Sure.
But I mean, and I'm kind of one of those guys who likes a woman who gets beat up but still tries to get a rematch in. Anybody who gets it, I like. So, but that's it. We're done catching up on news. So, getting on topic. At least this is something we both played because we're going to be talking about Fallout, the first one. So we're talking about how this is the golden age of role-playing games because we finally had role-playing games that gave your character agency and you had a dynamic, changing world based on your character's decisions and the time as it passed by in the game. So we previously talked about Baldur's Gate and how it had the dynamic world, and today we're going to talk about Fallout and Beneath a Steel Sky. So before all that happened, they had the floppy disk game called Wasteland, late 80s. You'd play it on your really old DOS PC. You'd stick the floppy disk in to play this.
Good times.
Yeah. So it's simple color, and I'm actually gonna bring up the old Wasteland and the good news is this is one of those game series that got brought back from the dead thanks to crowdfunding. So they got Wasteland 2 in 2013, Wasteland 3 in 2020. It's a little less far in the future than Fallout is. This is like the early 21st century, but you're a group of former of people related to the Army Rangers who survived in a bunker for a while. So
neat.
Thankful to our vast resources available online, you can find the Wasteland 1988. Not remastered, original.
Oh, they remastered it. Interesting.
Oh yeah, they had to, because you're talking about really old PCs where the resolution is like what, 120.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean it alone, it's graphically incompatible with today's machines. Okay.
Mhm. Oh. Well, I'm going to assume that his internet dropped for some possible reason. Oh, or no, coming back.
Yeah, my
There we-
internet temporarily stopped, but I'm back.
Okay. Just to pull out a cane and tap shoes and start dancing.
Well, that'd be funny too. I would like that. So, here we are. Wasteland.
Welcome to Let's Play Wasteland. Wasteland is a game that came out in the 80s.
So to give a little credit, thank you, Papa Zito. I will put your channel name for providing us with footage for Wasteland in the description. Small channel like you were, like us, so I feel you deserve some credit here.
I've basically been told there's some sort of disturbance out in the desert. Go find it. So I am starting a new game here. We're not getting a new location. So here's our little team. These are the default guys that you get. And they are all pre-vet. So we're actually going to take advantage of that, having stuff. That's in Wasteland. ST is strength. IQ is IQ. OK is luck. SP is speed. AGL agility. EX dexterity. Charisma. SKP is for skill points.
Yeah, this is like old school RPG.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like Eye of the Beholder, that kind of old.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'd be glad if I could play Eye of the Beholder without my uncle's CD-ROM on a DOS machine, but I'll see about that. So I'm not going to stay too long. So that's about it for now. Yeah, so that was Wasteland, but the Wasteland was the type of precursor for Fallout, which came later. The main idea that you're part of this, paramilitary, as we'll call it, group that is trying to save old technology is the inspiration behind the Brotherhood of Steel. So Alex,
Okay.
I haven't played Detroit Become Human yet, but is it about your character making decisions, and the decisions have an effect on the status of the world around you? Because that's the main idea about role playing, is decision making as a character. So it could be. I'll look it up. It could be a future episode of Detroit Become Human. But the main part about this is that Brian Fargo is the producer at Interplay for Fallout. Now, the rights to publish Wasteland went into the hands of EA, but that was later bought by crowdfunding because EA wasn't going to make any more Wasteland games. But the people involved in the making of Fallout all played Wasteland. Almost all of them did, including the director, Timothy Kane, for Fallout. So Timothy Kane is the one person involved in the original Fallout that has a YouTube channel and has talked a bit about how he developed Fallout 1. from questions he's received in the comments. So he's there if you ever want to ask him or see what questions he has answers for on the making of Fallout and Steamworks or Steamworks. He can tell you, he can give you answers here on YouTube. So that's a good thing.
That is.
Yeah. He's still around. So treasure what you have when it comes to asking someone about how the game was made. So, and of course, going back to a previous episode where we talked about Star Control 2, Timothy Kane just talked about it right now. Star Control 2 was a major influence in making a dynamic changing world, which you can see elements of in the original Fallout, because you go to Necropolis and you come back later to find the mutants killed everybody in Necropolis. That was one example of how they did it. They initially, although this wasn't the final cut for Fallout, is they had it so that the mutants, as the timer progressed, the mutants would destroy more and more settlements in Fallout 1. So at first, after a certain number of days, the mutants would destroy Junktown. After a certain number of days, they might destroy parts of the hub. And you have to fight in the hub to get the mutants out and so on. But they do, if you remember correctly, the mutants do run through Necropolis if you revisit it.
Yeah.
And kill the ghouls. So much for the Master saying he'd protect them, right?
Yeah, or the ending that I got where half the settlements got wiped out anyway, and it's like, what? How?
Yeah. So it was it was originally released on DOS and Windows on April 26th as a technical demo, which the person could play in one town or settlement in the game of Fallout. The full release was October 10th, 1997. Okay, so that does sound like a role-playing game. I'll take a look at it. An easier version of the game without the 500-day total time limit. So the way that time limit works is you had the time limit for the water chip, then you had the time limit for the mutants, where they would find your vault and kill everybody in there. So yeah, this was a case where the launch was, they had multiple versions at launch. You don't have the original version with GOG.com. It's actually version 1.2, which was a CD version that GOG is preserving, but that's what you have for the most part.
Is there is I would assume the more updated versions are the better ones then?
Well, it changes things. So in the first one, you could accidentally or intentionally kill children. You have children walking around in some settlements, like you have children walking around in parts of Junktown, and there are children in parts of Shady Sands. Now, European Martins did not like that.
Yeah, now that I think about it, I didn't see any kids.
No, because it's likely that your version, whether it's Steam or GOG, you're using the 1.2 version. Now, the 1.0 was only on CD-ROM, so you'd have to have the CD-ROM to play version 1.0. But for the European audiences, they didn't want to show small children being killed in the game, just adults.
Sure.
However, in version 1.0, if you do that, you become a wanted criminal. So now you have random encounters with bounty hunters that are going to kill you because you killed a child. So, I mean, yeah, it's horrible that you could kill children, but it's not as if there wasn't any consequences in version 1.0 if you did that.
Gotcha.
So someone out there might have the CD for version 1.0. I don't know. Someone might.
I'm sure someone's got it. I'm sure you could track it down somewhere on the internet.
Yeah. But that's about how it worked. Now, okay, so it sold 700,000 copies. As an exclusive for 1997 on a PC, that was actually good. For back in the 90s, the consoles were generally selling more copies per game. And then in the 2000s and the late 90s, you started having a shared market where games were released on both PC and console. And that allowed for a lot of games to, generally speaking, sell into the millions. So one example of a game that sold millions that had both a PC and a console release is the first Metal Gear Solid. So over 7 million. Others, were console exclusive, but that still sold a lot, such as Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, or Twilight Princess. But this whole shared market, so far, the developers like it. They sell more copies of the game that way. But 700,000 was good for a PC-only game in 1997. And it's also an R-rated game as well. Because of how the violence, your character can get addicted to drugs, and your character can go have sex with prostitutes all in that game. So just letting you know, for a game that's not open to children like Mario Brothers, it was good. It was good sales for that.
Well, there's a lot of reason why it became one of the most popular Western franchises.
Right. And it was beneficial when they did. When Bethesda finally did it, the Bethesda Fallout games have also had a double sale for both the PC and consoles, and it sold a lot of copies. That what he did with Fallout 76, where he wasn't honest about how ready they were to release it, that would have been a disgrace. That goes against the original promise of quality that Nintendo, Sega, and Sony had as game publishers. Because we talked a long time ago about how there was a video game crash, and there just did not, for Atari and all these various consoles, most of these companies are either out of business or don't make consoles anymore. The quality was exactly the thing that helped Nintendo revive selling large amounts of video games. Nintendo made a promise as a company that they were going to sell a complete game. They were going to launch it as a full game, and the entire game is there for you to buy as an individual game. But now, starting with the 2010s, you've had this thing where you're being sold a game that isn't complete at launch often, and you're being sold a game that needs tons of patches. And I'm just going to say right now, one of the lesser evils right now is Nintendo, but it's even questionable how long that's going to last. I mean, I do get a full game for games that are Nintendo exclusive on the card. It's the third-party games that are not Nintendo exclusive that I have to get the key card, which I put it in and it downloads from the internet off the card, which is ridiculous. But again, Nintendo's probably going to have to get to a point where they're just using 128 gigabytes or more, given how games are today.
We had an idea. We were thinking about numbers and everything, and it would make it. There's no reason they couldn't have Like because of how nice the games turn out with things like, say, Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild is like 13.4 gigs on the Switch, and it's on that tiny little cartridge. We had my buddies and I were talking about how we could make a cartridge that's like 3 or 4 times the size, and have a game, and so we would still be able to sell like physical copies of video games, like an actual cartridge system. There is no reason we couldn't do it.
Oh no. In fact, there are cartridges now that have many games on the same one. And, I prefer that over the emulator consoles. You can go to Amazon because those are all internet downloads.
Mm-hmm.
When I have a cartridge that I can just play numerous games off of it. So I got my kids, after I fixed the Game Boy Advance SP, they have it so that they can just go put the cartridge in, and it has pretty much all the Game Boy Color Pokemon games on it. They'd like to play it at this point in their lives. And it has numerous Mario games that are all Game Boy Color on that same cartridge.
Mm-hmm.
But I can see a lot more of that happening. A lot of people don't mind that I'm playing games on live stream that are, not that new. Castlevania Curse of Darkness, thanks for suffering through watching me play that. That's going to be 20 years old on November 1st of this year. And I'll be making a video about, or at least videos that include mentioning Curse of Darkness soon enough.
Nice.
Yeah. But there are a lot of games that, even though they were made a long time ago, there's still appeal to them. Halo, for instance, the earlier Halo games, a lot of people are willing to buy the Master Chief Collection. And what is that? That's the Halo games up through Halo 4 remastered. People bought that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and didn't Halo Microsoft just drop that game? Like they're not gonna
they're gonna remake Halo Combat Evolved again, which is silly.
Really?
Yes, they're gonna remake Combat Evolved again. We had the Master Chief Collection in 2014. Like, why? Why remake the first one?
Yeah, why not just put the 5th game on the Master Chief Collection?
You could do that too. And I keep forgetting it didn't just have Halo 4; it also had Halo Reach on that same collection.
Good Lord, why? Why do we keep doing this? These are the kinds of practices that just drive me insane. It's like there's no reason to remake Combat Evolved. It's already been made and remade. It's the same thing with Skyrim. Like, stop it.
I mean, you can buy Master Chief Collection on Steam right now. You can even buy the Xbox 360 version right now. Xbox One version right now. Why?
Like, if you're gonna do anything Halo related, do something new. How about
something that's not Halo, but just has some similarities, a successor, if you will.
Anything, literally anything. Like either continue the Halo Wars franchise and take a stand into the RTS world, since StarCraft is dead, and Warcraft's not going to get any big international games from the GSL. So just try and just take over. It's a vacant space.
And Diablo's a snail right now. With Diablo
no one cares about Diablo. Nobody.
And Diablo didn't even make it back into his own game of 4 yet.
Yeah. Because now it's Lilith, and it's like, okay.
Well, Mephisto's daughter, yeah, but then going on, there was Halo 2. So I need to get into we're going to go over Halo 2 a bit. So this is when Chris Avellone, you have his picture in the center, took over as the writer, and he came back later for Fallout New Vegas.
Wow, I didn't know that Halo 2 was a top-down RPG like this.
Yeah. Fallout 2.
There we go.
I said Halo 2. Why?
That's a radical shift in gameplay.
Yeah. No, we were lost in Halo. It's okay. But Chris Avellone, it was an early one for him. Yeah, and he came back. So this is where he got started, and they called him back for Fallout New Vegas. So he also wrote that one, and he had some writings for Fallout Van Buren, but they canceled that because the problems going on at Interplay. So they had some ventures, and some of them did not pay off. Planescape Torment was the worst sales for Interplay, but it's been a cult followed game over time, and I feel it's worth experimentally going with Planescape because it's your character's pretty customizable in Planescape Torment. So it didn't.
Okay.
It was one of those things that didn't do well, but they did end up putting parts of Van Buren into New Vegas. Fallout 2 is 80 years after the first Fallout game in Oregon, in Arroyo, Oregon. So, or at least what's left of Arroyo, Oregon after it all got blown up.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually you get called out of Arroyo because you need a way to clean up the water, and you need to have a terraforming device, a disposable terraforming device known as a GECK, or Garden of Eden creation kit, that vaults have. But you didn't because you got kicked out of the vault at the end, out of Vault 13 at the end of Fallout 1, so you didn't have any GECK with you. You had to just leave and presumably take people as a team from the ruined settlements in Fallout 1 in California, so they moved north. But in this one, in Fallout 2, the new part is that you can have a mutant who used to work for the Master as a team member. You can also have other tribal groups, members of other tribals, and your character can get married. I never really cared for it during the events of the game because I was too busy with the quests in it. And this is where the faction called the Enclave first appears. It is arguably the best portrayal of the Enclave ever, where they are a case of a democracy is your enemy, which I thought was something great after they did the mutants in Fallout 1. So basically the Enclave, they have a president and a Congress, so the way they see themselves is we're the successor of the United States, and by our democracy and our votes, we should just kill everyone that is a mutant.
Mm-hmm.
But it's okay because our president, our Congress, and all our little electorate that votes for it says it's okay. I mean, it's one of the best portrayals of democracy as the bad guy I've ever seen in a video game, or at least a portrayal of a constitutional republic as the villain that I've ever seen.
Yeah, considering the twisted world that it is.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's interesting because you hear so much about democracy being good, or constitutional republic being good, but now you have a constitutional republic where their own people openly, by majority, vote and approve of them killing everyone in a massive extermination who isn't one of them. So I just don't feel like Fallout 2 would be made today. Well, maybe it would be, but
it probably would be, considering who the villain is.
Well, yeah.
And because the main villain is the Enclave, there's no like master equivalent, right?
No. I mean, the closest thing they have is Frank Corrigan, United States Secret Service. He's a mutant in a power armor suit.
Oh boy.
But he's based off the character played by Clint Eastwood in an actual good movie, good action thriller from 1993 called In the Line of Fire. So In the Line of Fire, if you haven't seen it, it's worth taking a watch. It's Clint Eastwood and John Malkovich as a former Secret Service agent and a former military special forces guy fighting each other. One of them's trying to kill the president of the United States, and the other guy's trying to save him. And he's full of regret because he failed to stop Kennedy from getting sniped. The guy played by Clint Eastwood anyways. So In the Line of Fire, good movie. If you haven't seen it, I recommend it.
Okay.
But Chris Avallone did regret it. He felt he put too many jokes in Fallout 2. So.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So he kind of feels like he might be responsible for
the humor in later Fallout games.
Yeah.
He did a lot significantly less in New Vegas, and a lot of the jokes in New Vegas are optional. You have to have a perk to encounter them. So if you're in New Vegas, a lot of things like you find dead Indiana Jones in the fridge or aliens, so you can get the alien blaster from them. You have to have the Wild Wasteland perk, or else it doesn't show up.
Gotcha.
But now that we're done with Fallout, we'll talk about Beneath a Steel Sky. Good news is, I'm going to get the video for that. Gameplay recording for Beneath a Steel Sky right here. So Revolution Software, developers from the UK, and this is
the old man was trying to tell the future.
Dave Gibbons, the comic book artist. As you can see his artwork right here, you see from Watchmen or DC Comics. Dave Gibbons' artwork right here.
Growing safe beneath a sky of steel, scheming in the dark, gathering strength, and now, now the evil spreads. It sends deadly feelers over the land above, across the gap, reaching towards this very place.
I'd seen him do it 100 times, but I humored him. After all, he'd been like a father to me.
So most of Beneath the Steel Sky is, point and click, but you grab inventory items, and there is a timer for how the world goes on in the game based on your decisions. But it has that surface of it being a point and click adventure game like Myst or it's another one. But the main idea is that the surface is destroyed except for these few cities that are high tech and isolated. So Beneath the Steel Sky goes into where Robert Foster, the character you're playing as, goes into one of these big cities that are walled off and isolated, and he's trying to figure out what's going on.
Whoever is in charge here, come forward. Now!
Only a fool would have argued with that firepower.
I am the leader of these people. We are peaceful.
Bring him here.
At once, Commander Reich.
We're looking for someone. Someone who doesn't belong here. Who wasn't born in this garbage dump. Who came from the city as a child. We want to take him home again.
Yes, they're talking about Robert Foster right there.
That symbol before.
Mm-hmm.
It was the day the tribe found me. The day of the crash. The day my mother died.
You all right, city boy?
Got a name, son?
Robert.
Oh, welcome to the Gap, Robert.
As he patched me up, the old man had gently explained that there was no way back into the city, and I already knew there was nothing he could do for Mother. His tribe was poor, but they treated me like one of their own. I learned how to survive in the wasteland they called the Gap, and scavenging from the city dumps. As the years passed, I forgot my life in the city, discovered new talents.
Ha! I'm your friend. Call me Joey.
And got a second name.
This is what we'll call you. Now that you've come of age, son, we found you, fostered you, so that makes you Robert Foster.
Wasted enough time. Give us the runaway, or we'll shoot everyone. Starting with you, Granddad.
The old man had been right for once. It was me they wanted.
No, my son. Don't let the evil take you. Run!
DNA scan confirms it's him, sir. Evil had come to the Gap, just as he said.
Take him.
But had the old man seen why it wanted me, or what it would do next? It was too late to ask him now.
Leaving destruction zone, Commander Reich.
Good. Detonate.
much too late.
Oh.
Why you murdering? Keep him quiet.
I'm going to go into the main
Keep him
gameplay
quiet.
here.
Just like
I'll take too long.
Who's up there?
So right here, you have to avoid the guard seeing you because he can actually shoot you. But it's a little awkward because you have to click as to where you're going to go.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to jump or where are you going to go? You're inside the mega city.
It plays an awful lot like Another World.
Police Quest, right?
He must have jumped. Fell all the way to ground level.
I mean, I didn't get to play Police Quest, but
Phew. Lucky you.
how do you not notice him hanging on behind the door? Oh, that works.
Yeah, there's even a window.
So here you need to grab an item. Or wait, are you talking about Trader's Gate?
No. I said Another World.
Oh, Another World. Okay. But Trader's Gate is kind of similar. It's point and click, but you have to in Trader's Gate. You have to go and make sure you do things in the right order.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
It's got no circuit board.
so it's a click and drag. It's a little odd for
Welcome
people who are
back,
used
Joey.
to past
Is
games.
this the best shell you could find?
Listen, we're in deep trouble.
You've turned me into a vacuum cleaner.
It's functional. Don't be ungrateful. Now, I don't know where we are, or why we were brought here, but I intend to get some answers.
I've got a weird reading from my scanner. We're 120 meters above the ground.
We've got to find a way down, and keep out of the way of security. Any human activity nearby?
How should I know?
That's no problem. You can
The
rewatch
shell
it.
Sensors are useless.
What tools does that shell have?
None of any use, unless you're into housework.
It makes me wonder how people came up with these old dialogue options.
And an extendable
Mm-hmm.
probe.
It's almost as if people making the old
That little
games actually
shell
had to
suits
have
you, Joey.
conversations.
Get lost, Foster. It's awful. Find me a new one.
And I know we're running out
What's
of
our
time,
present
but
location?
I'll do a
What
little
does it
preview
matter?
about
We've had it.
Beyond the Steel Sky, which is the sequel.
What is this place?
It's not worth explaining. You're too thick.
About
It's such
that
a
temporary
cop
shell,
out
Joey.
dialogue line there.
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, what is this place? You don't want to know about it. Like,
I'll
all
find
right.
you a new shell, I promise.
I should hope so.
Marv. That would be right. Best to avoid him and his bully boys.
Yeah, so early on in the game, there's the guy named Reich.
What goes
He's
on in
part of a
here?
gang.
It's me work level.
Mhm.
There's an elevator out on the walkway.
And you have to get a
Oh,
part
you
for
can't reach
the
it right
elevator
now.
so you can get it working
Why not?
to get up above.
Cause Reich's boys are guarding the exit from the plant.
So the game is actually set
How come your
in
elevator's
Australia.
not working?
like Mad
It's
Max.
activated
Only
Oh,
most of
okay.
Australia's
by the
wrecked,
transport
and this and the
What did
city to the
security
west are
want?
the only real
After a
developments with
saboteur.
the tech.
You seen anything
So
suspicious?
what's modern?
Only an overzealous security agent.
That would be right. Best to avoid him and his bully boys.
What goes on in here?
It's me workshop. Like it?
It's
So yeah, I'm sorry, we're
Very
running
impressive.
low on time,
a
but
symbol of
I'll do the last little bit and finish it up.
Sure.
Come on. There we go. So yeah, it's a lot of click and drag, but it's secretly that click and point and click adventure. It's very much a decision making game.
Mhm.
That's why I consider it a role-playing game. So there was a sequel, Beyond a Steel Sky, and we're just going to show the trailer real quick for that one. Beyond a Steel Sky. Here we go. And that should help.
Union City. I've been away so long. Now I was back. The city looked different. Beautiful. Peaceful.
Better graphics.
Happy.
I was
Sure.
hoping to meet you, Mr. Grundy.
My dear husband is back.
Is everyone feeling aspirational today?
But I was on the trail of a child, brutally abducted from his village.
Beware! Demons stalk the gap by night.
What's happened, Foster? Where's my son?
And nothing in the city was what it seemed. Luckily, I wasn't alone for long.
It looks like they just changed everything. Did you say this is a sequel?
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
So
okay,
Robert
okay.
Foster, at the end of Beneath the Steel Sky, he escapes Union City, but he comes back because a kid was kidnapped into there, so he wants to find the kid. It's not quite as great of a plot as the first one, but you can get it on Steam, Apple Arcade, and GOG now. But it's a way to see things in a lot more detail, and it's a follow-up nonetheless. So I know it's at the end. I wanted this to be longer. I could bring back the topic of this later for more games, but this is going to be part of a 3-part for these through podcast episodes talking about the golden age of role-playing games. All the games we mentioned here are on GOG.com and Steam. GOG does actively preserve older game copies as part of developing new ports, so they keep copies in storage and preserved as part of their releasing games for today's machines. So supporting GOG is supporting an effort to preserve really old games, some of which are from companies that no longer exist. And what's great about GOG is they also give you the music album from the game, digital versions of the original game manuals, because some of these games you're kind of lost without the manual in the first place.
Oh yeah. A lot of games were like that.
So I'm recommending GOG.com, and that's pretty much it. So favorite horror games and more mysteries of Castlevania is what's coming up next. And thank you everyone for stopping by. I look forward to seeing you same time, same channel, Thursday. And I'll be releasing the set of 3 episodes about the golden age of role-playing games. So you get to see the whole set, the chapters, and it should be great. So thank you everyone for stopping by.
You can check me out at my channel, Albelio. I've got a secondary for political commentary with Belmorian Herald, and a tertiary with MechWarrior and BattleTech at Belmorian Galaxy. And you can donate to me on Subscribestar now.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And Castlevania Season 1 Redux tomorrow.
Oh, I'll be looking forward to that one.
Because it's October, so I'm going through all of Castlevania until Halloween with Part 2 of Nocturne.
All right. Well, see you again. Same time, same channel, everyone. And be on alert for Albelia's new video tomorrow.
Yeah.